Minnesota Vikings have some pretty clear draft needs headed into the 2021 version of the National Football League selection meeting. Offensive line, always an issue, and definitely defensive line as well as safety. But what if I told you that certain wide receivers, or just receivers in general, potentially on the board at 14, like Heisman winner DeVonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, the fastest guy in the draft, or potentially Florida tight end, but really receiver, because that's what he is, Kyle Pitts. What if they just fall in the lap of the Vikings at 14? And before you say, that will never happen. As well, this is a season to never say anything is impossible, because you have no idea with opt-outs, with the combine not being the old combine. Yeah, some things are going to get weird, but let's do some math. So pick 14, there are 13 picks before 14. So you got the 4 quarterbacks. You have Trevor Lawrence, you have Justin Fields, you have Zach Wilson, you have no pants for Trey Lance. Maybe even Mac Jones gets in there, but say 4. Penny Sewell, Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley all seem likely locks. So that's 9. And then Kwity Paye, Rashawn Slater, maybe even Gregory Rousseau works in there. They could also go. So that's 12 reasonable spots. So that's 12 of the 13. Maybe some shifting in there. I think Waddle and or DeVonta and or Pitts could potentially go earlier than 14. But at least one of them is probably going to be on board. So the Vikings will have a decision. And I obviously love me some DeVonta Smith, rightful Heisman winner. 117 catches, 1,856 yards receiving. Woo! 23 touchdowns as a senior. But teams still may shy away from him because of his frame. We're like, well, he only weighs 175 pounds. I don't know. He's going to get hurt. He missed 1 game in his college career. And again, it's not like they play two-hand touch in the SEC. And teams could prefer a more traditionally built wide receiver as a Jamar Chase, or going with the speed of Jaylen Waddle. Vikings could take advantage of that market inefficiency, even though since DeVonta Smith is going to play at the Senior Bowl and he's going to be coached by the Dolphins, I mean, they'll probably take him at 3. It is what it is. But also DeVonta Smith, if he ends up being a Viking, he averaged 21.5 yards per punt return this season, taking over for Waddle after he got hurt, and also took one to the house against Arkansas. So coming on in as a wide receiver 3 and return man, by the way, is another need for the Vikings. Check. Yeah. Also Kyle Pitts. So again, call him a receiver. Do not call him a tight end. 6'6", 240. And he may fall because, well, you don't draft tight ends that high, unless you're TJ Hawkinson. But teams may not be sure where to play him. And again, it's so stupid because get your players and then cater your scheme to your players, not the other way around. But he is not a traditional inline, hand in the dirt tight end. He's not going to be Kittle. He's not going to be Hawkinson. 41% of his offensive snaps were lined up out wide or in the slot. And even with Florida's option, with the spread option, traditional tight end ain't it, right? Also had 43 catches, 770 yards, 12 touchdowns this year. He made Kyle Trask. Look up the games Kyle Trask had Kyle Pitts and the games that he didn't, because Pitts missed a couple with injury. A monster catch radius, won, 85% of his 50-50 balls, just throwing on up, 50-50 for Cristobal, hands like a vice, is going to be a huge red zone weapon for many years to come. And also, he's likely going to run high 4.6s, low 4.7s in the 40, going to test out of the roof in terms of explosive and agility as well. And he's an unfair matchup. He is. He's too fast for linebackers, frankly too big for linebackers as well. He's too big for safeties, too big for cornerbacks, too fast for some safeties, by the way, too, is going to be a red zone monster. So the question is, how would the Vikings use him? Well, use Irv, use Gronklin. Gronklin is heading into the last year of his rookie deal, by the way. Use them as traditional tight ends in concert with Pitts. Have Pitts and one of the tight ends on the field. Now, it's a matchup, because what do defenses do? Do they stay in base? Do they go nickel? And if they go base, throw against base. Have Kyle Pitts against the linebacker. I will take that matchup. And if they go nickel, run against nickel. Let Kirk Cousins audible and check at the line of scrimmage. And then use Pitts everywhere. Use him everywhere. You see how the Raiders use Darren Waller. You see how the Chiefs use Kelsey when he's not in line. Exactly like that. Do it up. And of course, Jaylen Waddle. My goodness, Jaylen Waddle. So 5'10", $182. And it's really unfortunate that he got hurt in the return against Tennessee, because frankly, I think he might be a better pro prospect than DeVonta. Even though DeVonta had that amazing senior season, Waddle's got world-class speed, Potentially could run a 4.25. He is the Tyreek Hill of this draft, but again, less baggage, so that makes him even faster. Also, is a complete route runner. 28 catches, 591 yards, 4 touchdowns this season before the ankle injury. Even came back for the national title game, by the way. Now, he was clearly still hurt, but the fact he put up 3 catches in that game, that just shows the toughness, the dedication, the love of football. I absolutely love that about Jaylen Waddle. And also, of the 4 first-round wide receivers from Bama for the last 2 years, Waddle, DeVonta, Ruggs, and Judy, I think Waddle might end up having the best pro career. I really think he might. And that's not to take anything away from the other 3 jabronis, but, I mean, they're going to have solid careers as well. But Waddle could be that guy. Waddle could be that absolute game changer, even though that word is overused. And if Waddle fell for whatever reason, like, he would turn the Vikings' already great passing game into the league's best, like, straight up. Like, imagine defenses so scared about Waddle's long speed, whether he's in the slot or out wide, and he's also a solid all-around runner as well. But then Jefferson and Thielen and Erb have all of that real estate and space underneath just to operate. My goodness, like, the Vikings would become a modern version of the 98 Vikings. Of course, no one's ever going to match Randy Moss's size, but that deep speed, yeah, you can absolutely have that. Plus, Waddle averaged 18.8 yards per return and took 3 to the house over his college career, so he can add, just like DeVonta Smith would in the return game as he works up from wide receiver 3. So now, to rebut some of the inevitable counterpoints. So, the Vikings already have good wide receivers. Why draft another one? Well, say the Vikings went that route in 1998. Number 21 overall. Hey, we got Chris Carter, Hall of Famer. We got Jake Reed, had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Yeah, the Vikings did need defensive help that year too. So imagine if they went the other direction. And also, Adam Thielen is going to be 31. So we're not trading him to the Browns. And he has probably 3 to 4 good years left. So imagine as he works down into that wide receiver 3 role, that late career Larry Fitzgerald, and then you have Jefferson and friggin' Waddle, or Jefferson and DeVonta, or Jefferson and Kyle Pitts as your 1-2 pass catching options. Baby, you got a stew going. But the Vikings ran the lowest amount of 11 personnel in the NFL. Do you think that might change slightly? Just a little bit, if the Vikings wide receiver 3 was DeVonta Smith instead of Chad Beebe, or Jaylen Waddle instead of Olabisi Johnson, and then also, lastly, Vikings need help elsewhere. Well, if we're talking about BPA, let's talk BPA, and let's go BPA. Again, if the Vikings went BPA, wide receiver 98, they went running back BPA in 2007, even though Chester Taylor ran for 1,000 yards in 2006. And we're not advocating actively seeking out a wide receiver at 14. Like, we're not going to take Terrace Marshall or our guy Rashad Bateman at 14 if those 3 and Jamar Chase are off the board. But if you're looking at a potential projection distribution of offensive line, D-line, and safety talent, like, you can find starting offensive linemen rounds 3, rounds 4. Even though, yes, the Vikings after 14 don't draft again until 79. You can find 3 techs and edge rushers in rounds 3 and 4. You can find starting safeties in round 3, 4. I mean, my God, maybe even round 5 this year, given the way that the safety class is structured. You'll find nice receivers, sure, day 2, day 3, but not potential game breakers. Like, you are not going to find a Waddle or DeVonta or Smith at those spots. You will potentially find them at 14 because odds are at least one of them, potentially more, could be available at 14. And then, frankly, I think the Vikings have a decision. Do you just grab BPA, potential game changer, even though not a position of need, and then address everything else later on? You do have 6th, 3rd, and 4th round picks, so it's going to be a decision. I say go for it, baby. But your thoughts? Vikings wide receiver 14. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.